What's up, y'all? I'm Mason, and this is
J-Dub.
And we are the Final Call movie review show. Today we are going to be reviewing New Jack City, a Mario Van Peebles directed film from 1991. It stars Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Chris Rock, of course Mario Van Peebles. This movie is basically about the crack game in like the 80s and 90s and how much of a madhouse the inner city in this particular film, and you know, you can imagine inner cities across the nation, we're going through this sort of power struggle among the people that were running that specific drug through the town. And it's amazing. It's such a well done, dark movie, but it's not something that everybody raves about all over the place. It's probably not one of the higher rated films in the world, and it's quotable in almost a funny way. See, the problem with it is it's one of those movies where there's drug use and it's being highlighted in a bad way, but like it's such like a fun movie in a sense that it almost becomes quotable and laughable at the same time. So like I like the movie, but it sort of cultivates a less than serious attitude about it because it's so stylistically overblown in its own right. It's a great fun movie, but is it really a good, solid, like, intellectual piece? Kind of. There's definitely some smart things that are said, but the way that it's done is kind of a little flamboyant and perhaps not really highlighting itself in the best way.
Well, I mean, street life at that time really wasn't... There ain't much to highlight about what the portrayal is. The crazy thing about the time is... that's really what was going on.
I just mean the movie's more fun, in a sense, than it should be for what it's trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like... It almost becomes laughable at times because it's so flamboyant and outrageous with what it's doing. Not that that was or wasn't necessarily true to form of what the street at the time was. Mm-hmm. Just more like this isn't quite being taken as seriously as I think it could have been. I think it could have been a little more...
There's a certain campiness.
Yes, yes. That's a good way of putting it. There's a certain campiness to it that I find is almost disrespectful to the subject. But it's kind of why I like the movie, though. Like, it's more fun than it should be, and I have fun with it more than I should, probably. You know? It's quotable. It's laughable at times. Like, oh, that's a funny quote. That guy just got shot. Ha. Like, you know, you shouldn't feel like that, but you do. So to me, it makes it like... As much as I love the movie, and I think it's great in its own sense, as we sit down to discuss it, I realize, you know, that's not the... I don't think that's the choice that I would have made with it. I don't know if I would have made it so campy and, you know, stylistically fun at the times where, I don't know, maybe I was crazy and I'm enjoying the film way more than anybody else does. But, you know, like, Boys in the Hood is distressing to me. Boys in the Hood makes me upset.
Yes.
This movie doesn't make me upset.
Exactly.
And I feel like it should make me upset, I guess is what I'm saying.
You could slap this on and have it on in the background, but Boys in the Hood, that's not some, hey, let's watch Boys in the Hood.
Right.
You know?
Right. This movie could be on at a party and people are like, ha ha!
Yes.
Just put on Boys in the Hood, people be like, yo, what the fuck, man?
I think where it comes from is, and it's kind of like the end of an era in its own right, because you have Mario Van Peebles, you have his father, Melvin Van Peebles, who did a bunch of blaxploitation films back in the early 70s and leading into the 80s. So this film in its own right is kind of like the end of the blaxploitation genre, which is...
It's almost like, all right, guys, we've taken it too far. Dial it back.
This is it.
This is too much fun.
New Jack City was like the Expendables of the blaxploitation genre. It's just a stack card of the ultimate, and done by the son of one of the greater blaxploitation directors. And that, I think that's what makes this movie work. Plus the fact that growing up in the DC area when that was actually happening, the being called the murder capital of the world from like 1987 to 89 because of the crack. The mayor was on crack for God knows how long. It was all over the place. It was just running rampant. I didn't really pick up on it as a little kid until I saw this movie, and it was like one of those light boys in the hood.
Yeah, where the light bulb goes off.
Exactly.
Okay. And
this was it was catchy at a young age because it worked well where it wasn't like as hard hitting as your Boys in the Hood and Men's Society, Juice, so on and so forth. So yeah, I think because of that, it's a stand up.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Film, absolutely.
I do think it's good. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like there's something about it that I just wish was a little more respectful of the subject matter, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah.
It does hit that.
It's right on that line.
Yeah.
It walks that line and it sort of goes back and forth. But, you know, on a scale from 1 to 100, I would probably give this movie a 73. I mean, it's better than most films, but it's no Godfather.
It is no Godfather. You can see that it does draw inspiration from Godfather and certainly Scarface.
Sure, got gangster stuff for sure, but
gangster for sure. Out of 100. That's one of the better ones, in my opinion. Honestly, I'd have to go with the 85.
Okay. And my final call is definitely see it. And
please see it.
Yeah.
Please see it. That's a period piece. That is a piece of historical education value right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You want to know how it was on the streets 30 years ago before there was no internet? It was crack.
Yeah, before there were videos of fools with meth issues, there were no videos of crackheads doing crazy shit too.
Unless your name was Marion Barry.
No, there was crazy videos of him doing shit too.
There was crazy videos.
The bitch set him up. The bitch set me up. Watch out for these bitches. Especially in the hotel, they might set you up, man. Real talk.
Final call, real talk.
Real talk.